Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to Magical Coffee Hour. We have survived another week, and I am pouring me some coffee because I need it. All right, we got a few people in here already waiting. Chad, good to see you. Coral Turner, thank you. Glad you could make it. Violet Star, good to see you as well. Jade, glad you're here. Randini, hello. Shark, good to see you as well. Tara, good to see you. What's up, Aaron? Vicky, welcome back. Okay, so if you are here, do us a favor, hit the like button. Let YouTube know you like the work we're doing. That algorithm's getting meaner and meaner these days, so we need all the help we can get. And if this is your first time and you haven't, subscribe to the channel. We would definitely appreciate having you. We always love new people on the channel. Hope you get a lot out of it, and welcome. Turn on notifications too, so you're notified anytime we release a video. We usually try to release at least one a week. Sometimes we do clips of the roundtables for questions and get those up so they're easier to access. And of course, we do a live stream every Sunday here, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There we go. Announcement's over. So I hope you guys are doing well. I am actually doing great. I've got a few things in the works that I'm so excited about. I'm getting ready to dive in and really clean up my diet. I'm wanting to do that whole 90-day pure carnivore challenge. But I'm going to do something I want to do something fun. So I get a lot of questions about carnivore, why I enjoy it, how it affects me, what do I eat, how do I make it, how do I keep it fun? Because some people's like, I can't just eat hamburger all the time. I get that. Believe me, I do. As someone who loves food and loves different things, I get that. So what I was thinking I was actually going to do is something I don't think I've really done. I'm actually going to take my, oh dear God, the move has freaking killed me weight, which is where I'm at now. I'm going to mark that down, and I'm actually going to try to do weekly updates or maybe even bi-weekly updates where I'm actually going to be posting these. I don't know how I'm going to post them, but we're going to be posting them. There'll be at least one video a week. YouTube channel and Patreon members might actually end up getting more posts than just the one video. You guys may get more regular updates. But I'm also going to talk about the things I'm actually eating and how I make them and how I keep it interesting for me. But plot twist, I'm also looking at getting into going camping, solo camping at least once a month. Yes, I know winter's coming, but I'm still planning on it. And as long as the campsites stay open, I'm going to be going. So I'm also going to be shooting a lot more of the outdoor videos. So we should be able to get at least probably 1 to 2 outdoor videos a month if the campsites do stay open. I've been looking. Right now they're showing that they do have sites through winter, so that's good. But I'm also going to show, for those who've told me that they can't do carnivore and camp because you got these dehydrated meals and people take ramen noodles and whatnot. I'm going to show you how I actually go camping when I do carnivore. So you guys are going to see what I do. And it's also going to give me a chance to cover some of the gear I use, which reminds me, if you all have any specific videos for that outdoor series, like skill sets or techniques or anything you want me to cover, let me know in the comments section of the videos, or you can email me, or you can message me on Gilded, or if you're one of the YouTube or Patreon members, you can message me in the members only Gilded. That way I can put that on the list to make sure I cover it. I have a lot of great ideas of things that I do want to get covered, that deal around safety and different techniques and things that I've seen done and things that have got people injured that I do want to cover. So I'm going to try and cover those in the outdoor series as well. But let me know, because I know there's a lot of people out there who they've really never been camping. It's, though, for people in camping, like we know a lot of people who camp, right? But I'm realizing that it is a pastime that has fallen out of, because people just don't have a clue how to do it anymore. It seems too unapproachable. It's too daunting, scary, expensive, all these other things. And I'm wanting to try and address those in this series because I think getting outdoors is a great way to relax. I know it's great therapy for me. So yeah, I'm going to be getting that going as well. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. And for those who are watching this, Working Dragon Mystic has finally set up a Rumble account. Now, we're not leaving YouTube. We're going to still be right here on YouTube. But I have had so many people say that I should open a Rumble account because so many people are there. I can grow my audience there. We have set it up. We've started getting people in. We would definitely love your support over there as well. I'm still learning the platform, so be nice to me because y'all know me and technology don't get along. But so far, the technology and the platform seems pretty easy to use. So I'm kind of enjoying it. And, during the YouTube scares, because what is it, every 6 months or something, there's at least a new YouTube scare and people start emailing me. We don't have to worry about it no more because we'll have a second platform. Somebody told me to look at locals for building up a community and able to get more tools for the Working Dragon Mystic community. I'm going to do it. I've been getting so many questions about that and how we can build the community and get more tools for doing it and connecting. I'm going to look at it. I want to see what it is. But that's the best I can say at this time is that we're going to look at. But if you are interested, check us out. You just pop over there and type in Working Dragon Mystic. You'll find me under that name as well as the channel. So give me a follow over there and give the channel a follow. We'd love to have you and your support. All right. Now, I got a lot of questions while I was rambling on and getting through the stuff that I'm so excited. I'm not going to sleep much until the camp out. I'm just excited. It's been way too long since I've been in the woods. So let's see what we got here. If anything I can answer. Why do everyone tell it's okay to eat the offering? I've read that so often. I've actually never heard anyone say it's okay to eat the offering, to be honest with you, Rendini. I would not eat the offering. Especially because if you give it to someone else and you actually offer it up. So it depends on how it's done though. So if I take this piece of chicken, this specific piece of chicken, and I give it to Odin, and that is his piece of chicken, and then I eat it, that would be like me giving you a Christmas present, then snatching it out of your hands and laughing at you and saying, ha ha, just kidding, you don't get it. Entities don't like that. So not to mention that when you give it to them, they're going to take all the energy out of it, which energy dead food I'm sorry, I just failed to see how that can remotely be good for the body. And there has been at least a few mages who's done some different research on it and whatnot, and it does seem to have a far less nutrition effect, which is kind of interesting. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on there. But I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. Now, that said, let's say during a bloat rite, however, where you are slaughtering a pig and you're offering it to the gods and you're spilling the blood, doing the slaughtering during the bloat rite. This is the act of offering up the livestock and for this particular rite. And the way it's designed is that the act of doing it is the offering, and the gods themselves would be blessing said pig, and then the pig is actually distributed through the community and eaten as part of the blessing. So you're not directly offering the pig itself. It's the act of dedication, and to some extent you are offering the life of the pig, not the meat of the pig, if that makes sense, or goat or whatever it would happen to be. So that would be a different example. So you do have to look at the exacts of it. But if I give Odin a cup of coffee, I'm not drinking his cup of coffee. If I offer him a piece of chicken, steak, whatever, I'm not eating it. I will just throw it away after a couple hours or the next day, because he's gotten what he needs from it, and I'm not I don't do takesy backsies. I don't do that. That's rude. That's inconsiderate. That's disrespectful. That goes against everything I do. But that's my thoughts on the matter. You may have yours. Anonymous. Hey, good to see you. Welcome. Glad you can make it. Rendoni is great for losing weight without. I agree. Like I said, I've not been able to stay on it, so this is going to be a lot of fun for me because I'm going to be able to answer a lot of questions for a lot of people, and I'm going to be able to get back in shape. I got a few personal goals for me. I actually just recently had a doctor's appointment. Everything was looking good. For a moment, I actually thought they were going to say I had high blood pressure because I have been eating so much junk food. But I actually came in just under the line, which that's higher than it normally is for me. I take pride in my healthy blood pressure. So that's one of the things. It's like, no, I'm buckling down. I'm doing the 90-day straight through the holidays, pure carnivore, no cheatsies, no nothing, no alcohol. So it's going to be a lot of fun for me. My wife is actually going to be doing it with me too. So she's already looking into recipes and whatnot. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Which you all actually got to see my wife this week in this week's video for the roundtable video we did. How about that? Y'all been asking to see her forever, and there she was. She showed up. Shorts might be a pretty well suited for the general populace. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, Pipe Smoking Heathen. Do a few quick shorts on the video vlog updating instead of a full video. That might be a great idea. Do one full video and then like short vlog. That's a good idea, man. That's a good idea. Thank you for that. Let's see, Drake, random question, but have you ever worked with any of the Greek gods and goddesses? Because I think they might have been reaching out to me for a while. I was there, but I don't know if I was making it up. It doesn't matter if he's making it up or not. Either way, if you want to work with them, reach out to them. And yes, I have worked with them. My wife loves Greek mythology. And because of that, even in our courting phase, Greek mythology came into it because she literally kidnapped me out of the class I hated most. And it's like, hi, so Drake is supposed to be at this event. And I didn't even know she was coming. She just shows up in a toga. I didn't know they was having a toga party at the high school. Go fig. And my teacher looked at the note, and sure enough, it was signed by the language lead teacher. And he looks at me and is like, well, you're supposed to be at this thing. I was like, okay. And off I went to some kind of Greek day they were doing in the library. Didn't have a toga, but hey, I'll go. So when I came to Magick, when I came to studying theologies, yes, the Greeks were definitely ones I reached out to. And I have worked with them off and on throughout the years. I actually enjoyed a good chunk of them myself. Hades and I got along great. I absolutely adored working with Hades. I've worked with Nyx, Zeus. I've worked with Hercules. I did work with Hera a time or two. I've worked with Aphrodite in only a few things concerning me. She was more focused on self-love at the time for me. All the other times I've ever worked with Aphrodite was more around working with clients. I have worked with Dionysus a lot in different things, including discussions of winemaking and whatnot. So he's a lot of fun there. So I have. It's a pantheon I enjoy. I really do. And I got to admit, I love the myths and the history even. And there's a part of me that's surprised I've not been more drawn in and worked with them more directly, more regularly. And part of me thinks if it wasn't for the dragons, I might have been more over there. But it was also Hades that originally sent me to one of the first Norse goddesses I worked with. He sent me to begin my working with Hel. So I still work with Hades quite a bit, actually. He's one of the ones I do still stay in contact with. But mostly now it seems to be more Norse and dragons. But yeah, absolutely a fun pantheon. The myths get weird. If you ever want any mythology that, you You can see myth is written in allegories and everything not meant to be taken literal. Greek is definitely one to look at because that stuff gets weird. But it's also a lot of fun. And I am way behind that, so I apologize. Thank you for putting the guild the Rumble link. Heck yeah, Jay, you're 3 times ahead of me. Thank you. There's the Rumble link, people. I'd love to see us hit 100 followers on that channel before the end of the month if we could. That'd be amazing. Let's see. Also, Vicky. Also, how do dragons get along with Greek gods? Because when I asked my guardian, he was very vague, but didn't have anything against. Oh, the dragons and the Greeks get along pretty well. So the reason the dragons are going to be vague on that is because dragons usually view entities as an individual. So when you ask about a pantheon, the dragons will work with any pantheon out there that I've encountered. I've yet to find a pantheon they won't work with. So they will come off vague because as the pantheon, sure, let's work with them. No big deal. They don't have any pros or cons to say because every pantheon is different. But even inside that pantheon, every entity is different. So, and within that, each dragon is going to get along with each deity a little differently. So they can't be specific because we're not talking about specific entities. And it, again, it's going to depend on the dragon. Like my co-mage loves working with the Greeks. The only Greek entity right off the top of my head that I know that irritates him is Zeus. Zeus actually does irritate the piss out of my co-mage. And I get it. Zeus's myths are weird. Zeus can be a dick. So anytime I work with Zeus, my co-mage is, he goes into full business mode because it's strictly business with him. There's no enjoyment. It's just business. Let's get it done. But beyond that, he has no like ill will towards Zeus, if that makes sense. Because you can totally not like someone and have no ill will. It's kind of in that vibe. But my guardians seem to have no issue with Zeus. But then again, they're just goof little balls anyway, so that makes sense. But at the same time, if Zeus was to stick a lightning bolt out line, yeah, they're going to snap. But, is what it is. Let's see here. Thundercat, welcome. Glad to see you. Also, people, do remember, if you put in a super chat of $5 or more during the stream, you are entered into a weekly spell working for prosperity, well-being, health, and luck. Also, for my YouTube channel members and Patreon members, do remember on the 1st, the monthly spell working for the members is coming up. If you're tier 3, the custom spell working, I need your request. And tier 2, if there's anything you just want that particular spell working focused on, also message me. And if you're not signed up for tier 2 or 3 for the spell working, but you want to be included, sign up now. Okay, moving on. Have you ever had an entity tell you not to do a ritual, go rest instead? Yes, quite a bit. I'm a dummy. I push myself quite a bit. I've actually been given notes on rituals and told not to do it yet, and screw up and do it. So I have actually learned when an entity recommends rest, I rest. So yeah, I've had that quite a bit. Let's see. Whoa, we jumped. Let's see. Violet Star, I saw her, your wife, and what a lovely. She is. I'm definitely married out of my league. I really do. She's amazing. I love that girl. And she puts up with me somehow. Go fig. And believe me, living with someone who is a professional wizard is not easy. Although it is a lovely thing when her friends ask what I do for a living, or when we go to like a Navy event, they're like, what do you do? And I get to tell them, I love it. Like, wait, you can do that? It's like, well, that's what I do, so I can do it at least. Let's see. Anonymous. I overhear conversations between entities before I fall asleep, or them speaking to Me directly, is this normal? Yeah, that's pretty normal. I can overhear entity conversations quite a bit. I mean, I don't really turn my arcane senses off. I just leave them open. So yeah, that's pretty normal, at least in my world. GK, so sweet, young love. I think I'm thinking college toga parties. No, we were doing it in high school. We are actually high school sweethearts. If that's, I mean, it's hard to believe that woman, she's put up with me for so many years. It's been a fun ride the whole way, though. Thundercap Drake, I've seen a video of this old guy healing his small wound after cutting himself with power Reiki, and I was like fascinated ever since. I'd have to see the video because I've seen a lot of videos, and when you put them under like actual video forensics, you can tell they're edited. Because there's people who like they're claiming they can close a cut like full Wolverine with Reiki. I've seen a lot of videos and everyone was faked. I've never seen one that it can even hold water, much less any practitioners that I've been able to get to interview to do it. To the point where I have even offered to cut myself so that they can heal it. Because I ain't got no qualms. If we're going to get, let's put our cards on the table and prove this. Because if we can prove this beyond a shadow of a doubt, scientifically, that would be such a major leap forward for the occult practices. So far, none have actually been able to put their practice where their mouth is. So I'm skeptical of them. I really am, unfortunately. As someone who actually has the Reiki masters, I really don't hold Reiki in that high regard. I really don't. It's kind of weird, and that may be horrible to say, but I mean, it's a great energy practice. It has a lot of benefits, but it does not have most of the medical benefits it's chalked up to that. Unfortunately, I've seen too many practitioners with their little certificates cause more harm than good. So I'm always a skeptic in those areas. But you guys have no idea how much I would love for the real deal to show up one day and show us and teach us and get us to that point, because that could end so many things. Unfortunately, I've never met the legit one. We jumped again. Crap. Small, adjusting to grade school has been tiring. Was going to invoke Zephyrzil, but my guardian advised you don't have the energy. Working with a ruler directly, especially because a lot of people think the Dragon's Flame ritual, you're working with the rulers. You are not. You're calling in a portion of their power. Working with the ruler directly, even in the way you begin doing it in Dragon Magic 101, that is pretty intense. Most people will never work with an entity under that kind of pressure. So yeah, if you're already exhausted and tired, I'm with your dragons on that. Get some rest. Don't overdo it. Your health is important. So yeah. This is some Gersa. Hey Drake, one question. I lack discipline and have lazy attributes, and I'm trying to change my life around. Should I work with dragons? I would say if you want to change your life and you want to break those habits, yes. There's no reason you can't. Are those traits something dragons usually look down on? Yes. But dragons also love to teach you and build you up and help you learn those disciplines. So yes, definitely. If you want to start Dragon Magic 101, go straight into it and begin doing the exercises. Stick to the plan. Don't slack off. Stay with it. And when you get to the part about finding your guardian, you're supposed to go in it knowing the things you're looking for. And they're also going to hit you with some questions. You want to answer the questions 100% honestly, but you also want to go in it knowing what you're looking for. Take with you during that ritual the fact that you want to overcome your laziness, that you want to develop real discipline in your life. Go into it with that. you will find the guardian dragon that will help you do those things. And when it comes time for your co-magician, same thing. Go into it, find that co-magician that's also going to help you develop those character traits. Believe me, it discipline's a hard thing. It's something we work at daily. I've said it on this channel many times. I got a video coming out on 17 habits to improve your life. Keep an eye out for that. I think that's next month, because I'm having to film so much forward so that, I can be out in the woods and stuff, and also have time to work on courses. But yeah, you could definitely work with dragons. Dragons can definitely help you to develop in those traits if that is what you want. But you have to want it for yourself. No one's going to do it for you. But if that's what you want, absolutely. Vicky, is it normal for guardian dragons to have preferences towards specific elements, even though they can't utilize all of them? So guardian dragons don't actually have an element yet. You got to complete your guardian. They're like, consider guardian dragon like a stage in their life, almost like their final paper in college in a sort of way, or they're studying abroad stage before they graduate, something like that, or even their first job. So they don't really have an element yet. Do they have an idea what element they may want to start working with? Yes, they may at this point have a time. That is fine. And at which case, honestly, if they have that preference, odds are once their time as a guardian dragon is done, they're going to move into an elemental dragon of that type. It's not unusual. It's not that unusual. And some guardian dragons, you won't notice this preference until very late in their guardian dragon career. So for us humans, we may never see it, considering a dragon's lifespan. But that's not true for all guardian dragons. Some guardian dragons actually have an idea of what element they would like to work with right away. And then you also have guardian dragons where they're thinking about an element. And it may appear they have a preference to a human because they will think on it for your lifetime. But they have so much time that your lifetime's like that to them. And the next person that they end up being a guardian for, they may be thinking about a different element because they're trying to make that selection before they get to that point. So it's not uncommon. It sometimes goes unnoticed, but it's not uncommon. GK, I think I'd like to claim mage as my profession. I think I claim crazy old mage, but yeah, same thing. I have no idea how I got here either. Oh, man. Corey, howdy. It's been a while since I've seen the live come up on my feed. Dang algorithm. Yeah, that algorithm is getting to be a booger. We have noticed that. I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully more likes, more shares can kind of boost us. So if you are watching this, share it to your social media, share our videos when they come up. Get more exposure. Maybe with more exposure, YouTube will think better of us, and YouTube's algorithm will think better of us, and we can combat the alterations in the algorithms. It just that's the nature of social media. I have a free platform to get up here and talk and host my videos, but their algorithm's going to do what it does. So we got to do what we can do to do our part. Let's see. Gold nuggets. Appreciate it, Drake. Gold nuggets. I appreciate. No problem, Garrison. No problem. Honestly, one of the things I have drilled into my goddaughters is the discipline concept. I really think there's a value to truly owning your self-empowerment, your self-discipline, your self-mastery. And a lot of that does start with discipline. And the ability to do what needs done, even when you don't want to do it or don't feel like doing it, and the ability to get things done, it really snowballs into so many successful habits in life. I honestly think that is a trait every human being should develop. And weirdly, we've become a world almost, where discipline is just made fun of and looked down on, especially here in America where I live. Discipline is largely frowned upon by a large chunk of the populace. And you only see it in like certain areas. And then if you're successful or something because you worked hard and you put discipline into it, then suddenly you're a turncoat, a traitor, or something to some other weird little concept that people have. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I think discipline's a wonderful thing, and I wish you the best. I know you can do it. Just keep your nose to the grindstone, mate. You can do it. Um, see, is there anything else I was supposed to cover today? No, I don't think so. I do not think so. I know there's something that's going to bother me. I'll think of it. Don't worry. We will think of it. Alrighty. How do you charge wards with the Dragon's Flame ritual? You would charge a ward the same way you would charge anything, but I have to preface this with it depends on the type of ward you're doing. Because the Dragon's Flame ritual, when you do it, it sets a space, it brings in energy. The question is now when that energy is coming in, as being breathed in by the flames, what are you doing with that energy? Where are you as the mage directing this energy? And if the case is the ward, then you would be directing it into the ward that should be in front of you on your table, and you're going to be empowering the ward with that. How much does it power it? Well, that's going to depend on different things: your ability to focus, your ability to maneuver the energy, your discipline in holding the energy. What style of ward is it? How is it designed? How is it constructed? All these different things are going to play a part. But as far as the Dragon's Flame role in it, like I said, set here, bring in, direct, focus, push in, present. Same way you charge any item, really. Let's see, Vicky, thanks for answering. I really appreciate the feedback. I like making sure my gnosis makes sense before I jump to conclusions. Hey, Vicky, I get it. I write my crap down all the time. I question my crap, even when it's proven. Like I've got stuff I will question. I will occasionally go back, retest it, look at it, and question it, even though it has proven true for 10 years. That is the kind of guy I am. I just keep looking at it. And I found it's handy because you can actually outgrow your gnosis. I did a video on personal gnosis. You should check that one out because you can actually outgrow your gnosis. Corey, what are your thoughts of adopting from closed practices when you are not a member of that community? I'm not a fan of it, point blank. I'm not a fan of it. There's a lot of reasons why so many things are closed practice. And even if it's like a ceremonial lodge or something, an energy current can be built around a practice that works a very specific way. And that energy current can actually work against someone who's not properly initiated and not actually a member of the practice. You see this in a lot of closed practices. Ceremonial lodges do this. The Strogoi V do this. The voodoo current definitely does this. You do see this a lot. And it's generally ill-advised due to safety reasons and respect. I personally, if I'm not initiated, I will not do it out of respect for those individuals, those practices. The thing is, if you want people to respect your practice, you have to respect theirs, period. And we have a drastic lack of that. Like, I can't count the number of practitioners and pagans who are all about pissing all over Christians' practice and then demand Christians respect their practice. It doesn't work that way. You either respect them, and you can't demand respect if you're not willing to do the respect. And stealing and adapting a closed practice is disrespectful in my mind. Also, there's too many non-restricted ways to accomplish the same goals, that choosing a disrespectful road just doesn't make sense. And for those people who's like, well, what if I'm drawn to this and this is my path? If you're drawn to this truly, and this is supposed to be truly your path, the door to that practice will be opened. It will. And if it's not being opened, you could be the one in the wrong. Those are my thoughts. You don't have to agree with them, but yes, those are my thoughts. Let's see. Anonymous, does it scare you when an entity appears as a full body apparition? How often do they do this, and why they do it if the person can't handle it? Well, it depends on what you mean by can't handle it, but most entities, like, you're going to see a silhouette. I mean, if you're talking about like, do they spook you? They have a right to wander around just as much as any other person. So, if you see them, you're seeing them with your arcane sight. You literally cannot see them without your arcane sight. So, I mean, unless we're talking human spirits, like human spirits, humans can be horrible people in life, and they're just the same in death. So a jerk is a jerk is a jerk. Dying doesn't give them some massive insight. No, look, I should be a nicer person. It usually don't work that way. Rarely, unfortunately, does it work that way. Other entities, I mean, unless you're drawing their power to this plane, you're just seeing a minor silhouette of them. And if you catch a glimpse of them, it's your arcane sight's the one that's out of control. So they're going to totally be like, well, why are you looking? Just the same, like if you was to see me walking down the street, I'm not necessarily doing it to you. I'm just happen to pass through. It's one of those weird things. And when they show up to get our attention, well, if that's what they've had to do to get your attention for some reason, you can bet they've tried other more subtle things before. So if you're dealing with a hard-headed person, myself included, they can ramp it up until they get your attention. That's pretty normal. That's actually one of the reasons I started just keeping my awareness open, because being hard-headed and not listening has got me in more trouble than it was worth. And honestly, even weirdly, like, you can give me all the full information still, and I'm still hard-headed. So I've reduced the impact, but not solved the problem. I'm still hard-headed. Let's see. What do we got? Let's see. Catherine, are dragons in the wild like rivers or forest easy to work with? Not really. Not really. I would still highly recommend finding a guardian and a co-magician before you work with those, because those are actually, so the dragons we're going to see in the wilds of our world, since older, larger dragons will literally rip this world apart, those are actually still pretty young dragons. And because of that, they're also a bit rougher around the edges. Could you say? Think of like trying to get a teen to do what you ask it to do. So I would still recommend taking the steps of going through having a guardian and a co and those kinds of things. But also the ones that are in the wilds, they usually enjoy seclusion, and they can be very, very grumpy, to say the least. So it is difficult to work with them, because you're going to have to take the time to build up a repertoire with someone who doesn't want to talk, someone who doesn't want to be bothered. Is it doable? Oh, yeah, it's doable. I got plenty of friends. I don't really like to talk and spend time with people, yet people whittle away at me until suddenly I'm like, dang it, I like them. All right. So it's doable. It just does take time, patience, and practice. Did you need to focus on protection? You need to focus on the use of the ward, whatever that is. Protection is too vague a term for a ward. If the only thing you're doing with a ward is thinking protection, protection from what? Because you can't literally cannot create something like if you create a ward that's protection from everything, you've just cursed yourself. You will be protected from life. You will be protected from experiences. You will be protected from love. You will be protected from adventure. You will be protected from anything good or bad. You protection is too vague. You need to know exactly what this ward is doing, what's its function, and you need to focus on that. So, and that's with making wards in general. That's nothing to do with the Dragon's Flame ritual. That's with wards in general. When doubt can cancel magic, can doubt even cancel things an entity does? Absolutely. Absolutely. Your own doubt can actually ground out what the entity does too. Yes. So your doubt can grab a hold of that energy and just slam it to the ground. It really can. Now, the entity is going to continue to try and work. This is why a lot of people like entity work, because the entity can try and work through your doubt. But the entity is only going to do this to a point. There comes a point where the entity realizes you are preventing the work that you asked it to do, and it's wasting its time. At that point, the entity is going to stop, because the moment you ask any entity to help you, you as a magician have to be willing to let that happen. You have to know it's going to happen. And if you're the one grounding it out, you're breaking your half of the deal. You're not doing your part. And if you're not doing your part, they're not going to waste their time. So yes, your doubt can absolutely ground out what an entity is doing. Should one attempt to? I wouldn't personally channel a dragon guide. No, personally would not. Dragons also don't act as guides. They actually don't like the term guide almost as bad as they hate the word divinity. I don't know why. I've been trying, because like I've tried to make the debate that what's the difference between a guide and a guardian or a co. But apparently the dragons, there's a really, because they get wound pretty tight. It's kind of funny, actually. Oh, they're going to get mad at me for laughing at them over this. But they see that as a spiritual, religious concept, and they do not want to be worshipped. They do not want to be viewed as spiritual beings of some. It gets way too close to that divinity for them, and they don't like it. They're not comfortable with it. They want no part of it. And channeling dragons can have side effects, to say the least. GK Drake, can someone hide or make some things, plural, unnoticed? A mass spell, a collective glamour. Where did it go? Crap, I lost it. A sigil or similar, and any suggestions you may have on how to actively do it or how to guides. So you could do like a mass glamour. It depends on what you're trying to do. What you got to understand is it's only going to hide it to an extent. It's going to divert. It's going to be overlooked. It's not literally going to be unnoticed. Okay, it's not going to be invisible, and it's only going to aid in it not being seen. So it is possible to do it. As into a specific how-to guide, oh God, there's thousands of different ways to do it. Some people work with the goetic entities, like when a goetic entity talks about being invisible. It's using a glamour. It's not a literal invisible. It's a glamour. And there are still people who will see past the glamour. In fact, arcane sight alone will see past the glamour. So they're not exactly hard to find. And if you know the magician has something, I mean, if you know someone's a practitioner, it's pretty easy to know, they might have something hidden with a glamour. So it's more of focusing on learning how to do glamours in any of the many different ways. You could even, you can go as simple as like a basic kind of energetic shield that's a temporary version. Any glamour is temporary. It's not long term. So you would have to continually reapply it continually. And the more things you're trying to put the glamour over, they need to be close together, because the more spread apart, the harder it is to actually get it to function, and the less time it will last. Because the more things that interact with it, the more things that pass by it, the more things that it has to divert attention from, it's just burning through energy. So it's not a very efficient way of concealing. It's really not efficient. But it could be done. It could be done, just not efficient. Can you make a workshop about making wards? Actually, yeah, I can. I want to say I did one at one point on wards. If not, I know I got one that's in the making on it. We talked about wards in it was the shielding class. We talked about basic wards, but we do have a actual ward focused live workshop in the works. And I'm actually hoping to get those started by the end of the year, those live workshops. So yes, I may actually make that the next live workshop. It'll be either the next one or the one following the next one. I got to look at what the next one was supposed to be. But yes, I will absolutely do that for you, Rendani, because I know I got a lot of people asking about wards. Oh yeah, Guardian Dragons are very, very proud of their title, Guardian. That is a great honor to reach that. I know it's like all dragons technically graduate to it, but it's something they take pride in. It's a real achievement in their life to actually do that and do that work. And to twist that name really kind of bugs the piss out of them, especially if you try to equate it to some of these like things that dragons aren't too keen on. And the reason, like, you're probably wondering, why are dragons so against these concepts? Because if you're putting dragons in this pedestal, this means you're not doing for yourself. You're looking to them to do things for you. Dragons want you to empower yourself. They want allies. They want equals. They're teaching you to be a draconic mage. They're not teaching you to rely on them and wait for their scraps. So yeah, that does kind of bug them quite a bit. They're not too fond of the term Monte either, which Conway is the one that came up with that. They have never used it. Like the first time I used it, I got a 4-hour lecture. Man, I hated that lecture. That was worse than death by PowerPoint. If anyone knows what death by PowerPoint is, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I won't use it. I won't use that term ever. But yeah, guides, they get real pissy about it. I don't, like I said, me from a logical standpoint, I don't fully get it. But here's the thing, I don't have to get it. They have their ways, they have their traditions, they have their thought processes. I can respect that. I can respect that. Just like I can respect that my buddy Nitro will not let me call him by his birth name. Like if I did, he would seriously hit me with a ball bat. I can respect that. Let's see. That's what. Whoa, we jumped again. Okay. Oh, I just realized I saw the trumpet thing, and now I realize what you mean. Never realized I'd done that. Let's see. Thundercap Drake. How could I use fire and air element for academic prowess? Well, air is immediately attached to intelligence. So air is amazing for studying and retaining information and recall of information during tests. Absolutely tremendous for that. Fire is about passion. It's about energy. It's about willpower and all these things. Fire is actually a really great thing to utilize to really hit it. And I mean, hit it hard. Anybody got into one of those study slogs where you're just like, I'm ready. And about 30 minutes in, you're like, you're ready to throw the books. You're distracted. You're ready to read a dictionary rather than do your homework. Honestly, fire can give you that willpower and that passion for pursuing your academic goals to stick to it, and it can give you that driving force you need. Temper that though. Make sure it's tempered, because if you don't temper it with retention and everything, that passion can overwhelm you. You can even get a little cranky. You don't want to get cranky, and you want to make sure you're sleeping enough, because that extra fire energy can also cause lack of sleep if you're relying on it too much. So you want to gain that balance in there. But those are a few ways that right off the top of my head I can think of. And Donnie, is there any way to have less doubt? Honestly, what I did, and I recommend for everybody, keep a journal, record the things you do, record your successes, and actually work on letting go, work on forgetting about it. I would not start with magic that is tied to needs. I would not do magic that is tied to desperation, because if you need it, if you're desperate, this is something you're going to be constantly worried about. And if you've not learned to trust the magic, you are not going to be able to let go. And if you can't let go of the energy won't do bupkis, because the spell was never cast. If the energy is not sent out, it can't do it. So I would start with things that you don't necessarily need. Start with fun things. Start with nice things. And keep a journal recording each working, how you did it, when you did it, anything that you think might help you to do it. And put time frames on these workings. I tell students to start with a month to 3 months usually, and track it up to that time point. And I usually double that time point to check and see if it manifested after the set time, because that can actually happen too. And for me, what happened is I started seeing the successes adding up, and I was able to refine my practice. And the more and more successes I was able to point to in that data, it became a moment. It was where the data separated from the faith, because y'all know I'm a faithless bastard. I don't do faith. I don't like faith. It's not something for me. I need proof. I need data. That's why there's so many things in the occult world. People's like, how can you not believe in this, when it's like, I've seen no proof of it? Quite the opposite. I've seen complete lack of proof of it. So getting over doubt, I needed that data. And when I say I need a spell or a ritual isn't functional unless it gives me a manifestation result of 80% or better, that's what I mean. If I do it 10 times, I should get 8 manifestations out of those 10 times. That would be 80% of the 10 times I did this for individual things. Otherwise, I don't view it as a functional spell. People's like, well, that's way too high. If that's too high, magic don't work. That's my viewpoint on it. If 80% manifestation is too high, magic don't work. But yeah, I'd keep a journal, record everything. GK, like that word. Okay. I will try to get that up. Like I said, I've got an extended camping trip this week that I'm going. We're going to spend a few nights out in the woods. This ain't going to just be an overnighter. My wife's going with me on this one. It's going to be kind of our little vacation, since we didn't really get a vacation. We spent our time off moving. So this is going to be a nice little getaway for both of us. I'm actually planning to shoot some videos while I'm out there too. But once I get back, I'm going to finish buttoning up the vocation course. I'm in the home stretch. I'm going to get that done. But I will make a note to get that ward class up. In fact, you know what? I'll go ahead and do that right now while we're on here. Do ward workshop. Booyah. There. I got it on my to-do list right now. There you go. So y'all keep an eye out for that. I will let you all know when it is there. The 4-hour lecture. Dragons are masters of the 4-hour lecture, because they have all the time in the world. 4 hours to them is nothing, and they know you don't. So it is like the ultimate, like, it's like, seriously, just punch me or something. I would rather you just punch me. I know you're 1,000 times bigger than me, but still punch me. That would be preferred at this point. But no, since it's preferred, they're not going to do it. Let's see. Alicia, I called mine Monte for a few and it shot. Yeah, see, they do not like it. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know where that is one question I never did get around to asking Conway, where those terms of hers came from, because the dragons disliked them so much. I don't know if she thought of them or someone else did. I wish I thought to ask her that. I will. Hopefully she's proud of the work I'm doing still yet. Let's see. Humming, singing. Oh, I don't feel bad about it. I do all kinds of random weird stuff. I have quirks and habits, and I am who I am. I never apologize for who I am. Heck, many of you have heard me say, I am an asshole. I own it. I love it. I'm happy about it. And when people's like, you're just a big, soft, cuddly teddy bear, you ain't no asshole. It's like, give me time. Month or two later, I do something. Drake, you're a freaking a-hole. I warned you. It's not like I didn't tell you. It literally came with the warning. I gave you a list of warnings. You were hanging out with Drake. You didn't believe me. You thought I lied to you. I didn't lie to you. I'm very honest about who I am. Am I perfect? No. Am I me? Yes. Does everybody like me? No. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Am I okay with that? Yes. I don't need people to like me. In my mind, that's a fallacy if you chase praise from other people. Get comfortable with who you are, be authentically you, and don't expect the rest of the world to conform to whatever is authentically you, and you will be a happier person when you have that true confidence of self, of who you are. And you'll know it when you are you and you don't care what anyone else thinks. Like the whole world could look at you and say, you are wrong. And you'd be like, okay, that's fine. You have your thoughts. That's fine. And as long as you're not hurting people or breaking laws, you're good to go. Because I seriously don't. Like the amount of people who try to insult me, and it's like, hey, that's funny. You think I actually care? I come from a generation where we insulted each other for fun. Yeah, you're going to have to try harder. In fact, we actually hurt people for fun. I won't mention some of the dumb things we did because I'm sure YouTube would flag me. But yeah, we used to purposely inflict injury on each other for fun. One of them was called a sissy test. Anyone in my generation knows what a sissy test is. You kind of got that. But we're not going to mention what that actually was, are we? No, we're not going to get flagged. So yeah, a lot of fun. But yeah, focus on being you. Don't worry about what other people think. You know, I got friends who are as quirky as can be. There's times I actually appear to be the normal one, which is really weird. But just do it. I got on to follow at Rumble. Awesome. Violet Star, thank you. Yes, everyone who can follow us at Rumble. Jade, if you can drop that link again, please do. What are we laughing at? What'd I do this time? The fact that I'm I'm a happy asshole. Like, I am the guy that if you call me Grinch at Christmas, I will take it as a compliment. I will. That's just who I am. Like, I am proud, genuinely 100% proud that I managed to piss 286 people off in one day. I am proud of it. And given the chance, I will try to beat that record. Actually, I may have done that already because I'm on YouTube. Lord knows I've probably pissed off a lot of people, but speaking my mind down here. Jade's dropping the clocks, and there is the Rumble link again for those who want to follow me. Please do support us on Rumble. In this crazy world, like I still prefer YouTube as a platform, but like I said, 2-3 times a year, people's always telling me about the new YouTube scare. Granted, there's been a lot of channels that's been demonetized. There's been channels who's been taken down for different reasons, right or wrong. I'm not getting into that debate. Because a business is a business. The business has to run the business as the business runs the business, right? So YouTube is a business. I understand that. I understand this platform. I am at the wheel of the business. I understand that. So it does make sense to have a little backup just in case. I'm going to start loading some of our older content over on Rumble to see if there's actually a base or an audience over there. So if you guys want to follow me, please do. It'll give you a chance to see some of the older content as it's re-uploaded, refreshed. Because I know some of y'all, you've not seen some of the older content because you came in later. Some of y'all have been here since day one. Maybe you need a refresher. So definitely check that out. And if there is actually a place for us over there, I'll probably start uploading new content over there too. And I'll be honest, for those who use a phone, okay, y'all know I'm technologically stupid, right? So for those of you who use a phone, I actually find the Rumble app easier to use than the YouTube app. I don't know if that's just me or not, but from an honest point of view, I do honestly find that to be an easier one to use. So if you're technologically challenged like me, you may prefer that if you're on a phone. If you're on a computer, I don't think it matters because computer is way easier to use, just so you know. I'm not going to state the first part of that, but yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's true. And again, I mean, we try. The school's really the big meat and bones of Working Dragon Mystic. We're trying to truly build up something there. But at the same time, building the community is not something I intended, but there's such a community around Working Dragon Mystic. I don't want to lose that. So for those who keep asking, I am going to look into locals. I am going to look into that to see if we can actually find a true home where we have more tools and more control over an actual community where we can talk and do more stuff. I want to see what's in that because honestly, right now in my mind, yes, I'm trying to share all this information with you all. I'm trying to help you all. I'm trying to put the courses up. I'm doing a lot of work, but it's a labor of love. I do believe this is important information. And the community that's built around it, you guys are really the heartbeat of this community because you all go on in the Gilded, you guys will help each other and everything. And I know Gilded don't give us a lot of tools. It's the best thing we have right now. So if we can find a better thing to truly grow the community, interact and connect, I think that's a beautiful movement forward for the actual mission of Working Dragon Mystic and the community. So I'll see what I can do. Bear with me. I'm going to do the best. If any of you have used locals and know more about it, shoot me a message on Discord or email me at workingdragonmystic@gmail.com to let me know a little bit about it because I am going to dive into the research of it. All right. Jade's already thrown clocks at me. She's probably getting a Gatling gun of clocks. So I'm going to get off here. You all have a fantastic week. I'm going to go start packing and getting my stuff figured out, make sure I got everything I need for my camp out. And I'm going to the woods. Drake out. Later.